This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. Customs and traditions are the main distinctive features of the nations which inhabit the earth. Every nation has traditions, which are either similar in some way to the traditions of other countries or unique. Ramadan is a unique Islamic tradition, which takes place on the 9th month of the Islamic calendar and lasts for a month. Ramadan is the most sacred period in all Islamic countries and the most significant event in the life of every Muslim. Time limits of Ramadan. As has been already mentioned, Ramadan takes place during the 9th month of the lunar calendar, and the beginning of Ramadan is always different. The starting day of Ramadan depends on the lunar phases, new moon, so every year Ramadan starts 11 days earlier, and different countries count the beginning of Ramadan separately. The event lasts for a month and is the most significant in the life of Muslims. Eid al-Fitr is the holiday, which follows Ramadan. The main aim of Ramadan. The main idea of Ramadan is the strengthening of faith, moral growth, consideration of the personal way of life, understanding of life priorities, and shifting of these priorities. The person has the opportunity to leave the city life and retreat to some cozy and lonely place to think about true vital values, evaluate the person's life, and relax. People are sinful, and Ramadan allows people to look at their life, at their sins, and to make some conclusions, to provide some life changes. Spiritual purification is provided through fasting. Muslims try to refrain from loaves and fish. They try to refuse eating, drinking, smoking, and other living facilities. To avoid bad language and save the soul from shady thoughts is the main consideration of people during whole their lives, but especially during Ramadan. This fasting is obligatory for all Muslims and should be followed from sunrise to sunset. When the sun has disappeared, Muslims have the opportunity to interrupt their fasting, but still, the food they eat should be in small portions. Fasting is allowed to be avoided by pregnant, children, old and sick people. People should give food to sick or poor people, in the sum which they spend their eating every day, in the case of inability to follow fasting. People are allowed to confess all their sins, and there is a belief that Allah can forgive all people's sins during Ramadan in the case of a person's sincere desire to be forgiven. Reading prayers and God-pleasing actions gives the person an additional chance in forgiving. The last 10 days of Ramadan are the most important, as during these days, Laylat al-Qadr night takes place. This night is considered to be the night of power or the night of predestination, the time when Allah determines people's destinies. Conclusion. So, Ramadan is one of the most sacred events in the Muslim world. Wherever people live, wherever they stay during Ramadan, they follow all the traditions and peculiarities of the event, fasting, purification of soul and mind, and other facilities, such as the reading of prayers. Ramadan helps some people to understand their assignment in this life, to analyze the mistakes made during their life, and to allow them to correct these mistakes. All people are sinful, and reading prayers and living solitary lives at least during Ramadan help them to expiate their scanty sins and to become living life from a white sheet. Did you like this Ramadan, the Islamic sacred events sample? To get more works like this one, make sure to check out the database of academic paper examples at ivypanda.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs.